Hey everyone, welcome back to an episode of Create with Linda. So guys, it is Tuesday, and guess what's back? Talk about it Tuesday. I had some interest in, a couple of people asked me if I would bring it back, and how they said that they really loved it, and just like a chat about life and just about things that are happening and all of that. And I think the reason why I stopped doing it is just because it became kind of I don't know, what's the word? I loved it. I loved doing it. But I think that I always got like anxiety about it because I didn't know what to talk about sometimes, or when in reality, when I get on here, I just talk. Like I just talk. I always find things to say. I never have problems talking to you guys. I really never feel awkward. So I don't know. It's just all in my head. And I said the same thing to myself before. I said, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to do it." My husband's like, "You're going to do talk about it Tuesday?" I said, "I'm outside, first of all, right now. There's a little bug flying around my head." I'm like, "I don't know if I should do it because I don't really know what to talk about." He's like, "Oh my God, you'll know what to talk about." So it's back, guys. Talk about it Tuesday. Now, I'm not going to, yeah, I'm not going to commit 150% to doing it every two. Well, no, I mean it is Talk About It Tuesday. So this is what I'm going to commit to do. I'm going to commit to coming on Tuesdays and saying to you, this is what I have for you today, or I don't have anything for you today. I'm just not feeling it today, and I'm just going to hang out. I'm not doing nothing much but cooking or whatever. So I'm not going to do that's what's going to be consistent. Okay, hopefully coming on every Tuesday will be consistent with a Talk About It Tuesday because there's always stuff to talk about. I have a lot going on in my mind right now, that a lot of stresses, a lot of anxiety, a lot of things that are happening now around in my life that I really can't talk about. Do I want to talk about them right now? Maybe not so much, but I don't know. It's good to talk about things, I guess. Go get some water, Koopy. Go get some water. We're outside. It's like, I don't know. Uh, it's around 80 degrees, maybe? A little under 80 degrees. It's not humid. It's nice, but it's warm in the sun. And Cooper loves to lay in the sun, so he was just laying in the sun, but I brought him water out. We have to put the water, guys. Look, we have to put the water on top of on top of the brick here, because if we don't, you know what he does? He goes over to the water and he knocks it over. He plays with the bowl and he knocks the bowl over. We don't know if it's a game or what it is, but if it's up there, he most likely won't do it. But if it's on the rug, he does it. So yeah, that's fun. He's cute. He's doing okay. He was a little. You could see he's a little not. He's not 100% himself once Brody leaves. Brody was here for 2 days, and they just love each other. They sleep together. They eat. They drink together. They play together. They're just like two peas in a pot. When they're separated, when Brody goes, Cooper's a little down for a couple of days. Come here, Coop. So I told Julie she has to bring Brody. She has to bring Brody over for another sleepover this week because I hate to see Cooper down like this. I'm telling you, if I had a vehicle, I would go there every day and get him. I could still do that with my husband, with the other car we have. So I don't know. I might start doing that, picking him up during the day. Maybe on the days that Julie works, you know what I mean? Keeping him a day or two if she's okay with it. And maybe they can pick him up or whatever. I don't know. But he just, he needs his playmate. He needs his playmate. So anyway, what I'm going to talk about today is, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about today. Everything. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and it's the day we go for the group home. What is it? Tour. To look at it, to see what we think, to see what they're going to meet Jennifer and all of that. Jenny woke up this morning a little bit with a little bit of sniffles, so Cooper, I'm just hoping that everything is fine. I think she's fine. She just has a little sniffles. But that's very stressful. So yeah, so tomorrow is the date, and I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this we've been waiting for this for 2 weeks now. All of us are so excited because we've heard so many great things about this group home, um, that it just going to check every one of our marks that we want to check. And so we'll see. Of course, we don't know until we get there. Billy and I yesterday took a little ride past the house because we were curious, and it's so close to us. I mean, it's literally 14 minutes from my house, and it's like 8 minutes from Julie's house. It is so close, guys. It's just right in our vicinity. It's a beautiful house. It's set back. It's really, really nice. So we're really excited. So we have a lot of, I have a lot of anticipation about it, but I'm really excited about it, and we'll see. We'll see. So there's a lot going on in my head in there, in that aspect of Jenny, and just, I want to ask you guys a question. How do you comment down below, okay? Because this could be very helpful to me, and it could be very helpful to you, and it could be helpful to other people, because everybody has a different mindset. What do you do in your life to not take on other people's burdens? Like, when you have kids, you worry about them. So, like, if something happens to your kid, your adult kid, when they're living out on their own or whatever, how do you function in your mind, and how does it play with you, and how does it affect you when they're having issues that you can't solve for them, and that you can't help them with as much as you want to? You can't, and you don't want to see them struggle and see them upset or whatever. But how do you function? Like, how? Because I know for me, like, I have my own issues emotionally, physically, mentally, everything. And so when something goes on in one of my kids' lives that I can't control and that I can't help, it's very difficult for me, and it's very difficult for me to cope sometimes. And I think for me, going to my psychologist, Alice, that's her name, Alice, she's amazing. For me, she always helps me. Like, she puts it into perspective for me, all the issues that I have in my head, and that I conjure up in my head, and all of that. She helps me with that. She helps me with that, because she'll say, well, because I'll ask a question like, why do I do that? Or why do I feel this way? And then she'll give me the answer. Maybe it's not necessarily what I want to hear. She doesn't always tell me what I want to hear. And that's what I love about her, because she tells you the truth. It's an honest conversation, like with one of your best friends, that just is honest with you. As far as I know, but I mean, she seems very genuine to me, so I think I can trust. I trust her. Yeah. So that's, you have to trust your psychologist, otherwise you can't. How are you gonna tell her everything? It's difficult. But I just think that mental illness is so rapid right now. Like, I know it's so rapid in my life, and it always has been. And I went to the endocrinologist yesterday for my blood sugar thing and all that, and my A1C was not lower. It was high. It was the same amount that it was 3 months ago. Now here I am. Let's see. I had the October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. Hello. I had the surgery in October. So November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So it's 7 months since I had the surgery. My A1C is the same. I have lost almost 100 pounds, and my sugars aren't that great. And I know a lot of it is contributing to what I'm eating, because I have been kind of lax. I mean, this is an honest talk. An honest talk. It might get me, some comments or whatever it is. First of all, no negativity here. No negativity. If you want to come on and you want to give me advice and say, Linda, maybe if you do it this way or this, that's fine with me. I really do welcome that. But I don't welcome negativity and meanness and all of that. So, and I only had a few people, and they're gone, that have done that on my channel. So I don't even expect that. But I'm just saying. I might get some negative reaction to this. But I'm not being like 100% off of carbs. Like, I'm not. Like, I literally just had two rice cakes, and I love them, and I feel like a rice cake is better than eating chips. But I go in there and like yesterday, I was chomping on chips, I was chomping on pretzels. Like, I know in my mind that I really shouldn't be having that stuff, but I just, you know what it is too with the sleeve too, and it's not an excuse, it's just a fact that, like, I was hungry and I didn't have breakfast. I should have probably had a hard-boiled egg or an egg to sustain me, but I didn't because I wasn't cooking chicken and everything. So I had a little piece of chicken, a couple of bites. Well, immediately I felt nauseous. I didn't feel good, and it wouldn't stay down, and that was that. So you know what that means. I don't want to TMI you, too much information. I went to the bathroom, and that was it. I didn't feel good. I was nauseous and whatever. So after that, I was still hungry. Like, I'm hungry. So I had a rice cake, and then I'm like, ooh, I want another one. So I had another one. You know, it's better than having like chips, or it's better than having regular bread or anything like that. But it's still a carb. So I had those two, but I feel better now. And the thing is that sometimes you with the sleeve, you eat the bad things. They go down easier than the good things go down. Like, if I have salad, I love salad. Don't get me wrong. I'm a vegetable eater. I love vegetables. I love salad, but I can only eat a little bit, because if I eat a little bit more than a little bit, in the bathroom with the D word, it's like a dumping syndrome. It causes nausea and stomach pains and diarrhea, and I hate using that word on here. That's the only time I'll use it, the D word. I'm going to say the D word right now on. But it really is not fun. It's not fun. So anyway, I had two rice cakes, and I feel better now. I feel satisfied. But like, in probably like a half hour, 45 minutes, I'm going to be wanting something. So I noticed what I do, guys, is pick. I pick. I have those, I told you guys about that big jar of olives I bought from Sam's, with the green olives with the stuffed with the jalapeno and the cheese. Oh, I love them. They're fine for me because they're not carbs. They're a little bit high in fat, but it's fine. But they're really fat, so I'll go in there, and I'll, like, if I'm really hungry for this moment, like at this moment, I'm starving. I open up the refrigerator. I'm like, what do I want? Is it worth it for me to make a sandwich? I only eat a half. That's fine. If I really want that half a sandwich or that wrap, I will make it, and I will enjoy it, and I'll eat what I can of it, and then eat the rest of it later on, if so. But I'm more of a picker. I'll go in the refrigerator. I'll grab two of those olives, eat them, and I feel satisfied for a little while. Then if there's a string cheese right there, I'll grab a string cheese, which is fine. Not a carb. So I really don't eat that many carbs. But the thing is that, whereas years ago, or in the past, or at most times, I'll make a vegetable and a protein, and I'll have that, and I normally will not have a carb. Like, and I won't, like, if I make them rice or macaroni and cheese, I normally didn't have any of that. Or if I did, I would have a tiny bit. And that's what I'm doing now. I am having a little bit of that stuff. You know what I mean? So I think that's contributing to my high sugars. And I'm also hardly on any insulin, because she took me off a lot of my insulin because I didn't need as much. So yesterday she told me that maybe the insulin was backed off too soon. So now what she's trying to do is she took me off the insulin that I take when I eat. I always had to take a shot of insulin. I had to check my sugars, and then I would take insulin for how many carbs I was eating. But I really haven't been doing that anymore. So I take a nighttime one at 28 millimeters or whatever it is, 28 whatever, and then I take this. I'm taking this Majaro, I think it's called. It's a once a week shot that is it's good to lower blood sugars, and it's good for weight loss and appetite and all that kind of stuff. So I'm taking that. So she told me not to take the other one anymore, just to take the one at night that I take, because that's a long lasting, and then just to take the one shot a week, and because she wants to wean me off insulin and just have me be on regular, like maybe like the Majaro, which is just an injection. It's not insulin, because I'm very resistant to insulin, which insulin resistant I think means that it doesn't really work. Like, the insulin doesn't really do the job because your system is so used to it that it's just like, nah, I'm just gonna do what I want to do. And if you eat this piece of bread, it's gonna, put blood in, it's gonna put, bad cells in your blood and, sugar in your blood, and you're not gonna be able to get rid of it. It doesn't come out, and that's what I think insulin resistant is. So I am very insulin resistant. So she's hoping that when I lose some more weight, that my sugars will come down more, and it will all kind of make sense, or all come together, and I won't have to be on insulin. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's rough. It's really rough, and it's hard to come on here and every day and to be kind of happy and cheery and all of that, when some days I really just don't feel that way. But that's okay, because this is what this Create with Linda is about. Okay, yes, Create with Linda is about creating food and stuff and life and just creating, okay, guys, because I was always a creator. I love to always create from the time I was a little girl, and that's just who I am. So I think that's why it's really fitting for my name to be Create with Linda. I really do. But it could be called a lot of other things, like, a day in the life of Linda's crazy life, Linda's crazy emotional, Linda this, and it could be a lot of that. But that's, I think, is fitting for me. And the thing is that, like, I have a lot of issues. I do have a lot of mental health issues, that I fought all my life, and I'm fighting it now. And I feel like for like a year or two, like for like I would say a good 3 years, I felt like I was on an even path, and I felt really good. I felt like my mind was always clear. Like I didn't really have anything weighing me down. But even with COVID and my husband's surgery and all the stuff that's happened in the last 3 to 4 years, I felt pretty stable. But the last couple of months, really, I would say the last 6 months, probably to a year, I just don't feel the same. Like I feel crappy. I feel like I'm struggling. I feel like it's a real effort to do the things sometimes that I need to do or want to do or love to do, and that's the thing with mental illness. It's really, really difficult. It's a really difficult thing, and I'm on a very high dosage of medicine, and I spoke to my doctor, and he gave me another medicine, but my insurance didn't cover it. And then, I couldn't reach him, and so I haven't taken anything new. So I'm still on the regimen that I was on. So when I speak to him again, which is probably going to be in about a week, I'm going to have him just up my medicine that I'm on now. I'm on a very high dosage, but I know he said that I could go up some more too. So I'm going to try that, because this medicine has always worked for me. I don't want to take anything different. I don't want to take any anxiety meds or anything like that. I just don't. I just feel like it'll just make things worse for me, and it'll give me more anxiety having to worry about taking anxiety medicine. I just can't. A lot of stuff is also situational. There's a lot going on in our lives right now, a lot of different changes that are coming, with maybe Jenny moving out, with Julie getting married, finances, things are going to be changing financially, things are going to be changing, emotionally, empty nest syndrome, all of this stuff, that's a lot to think about, and it weighs on me. Like I worry about it, and that's why, I used to go to Alice on a regular basis, and when I need to, I go on a regular basis, like once a week, because I need to work out all these things that ail me, you know what I mean, mentally. So I couldn't go this week because I had my endocrinologist yesterday. So I'm going to be going next Monday. And I think I'm going to go for the next 3-4 Mondays. Now that my insurance covers it, I don't have to pay an enormous amount of money. I pay $10 or $15 every time I go, and that's feasible, it's feasible. But I really do think that I'm going to go once a week for the next 3 or 4, 5 weeks, because I just need to work out things. I need to work out some stuff that I'm going through now in my head, and things that are going on around me, that are affecting my mental health, And I need to be strong. I need to be strong. I need to be focused. I need to be present, and I don't want it to go to the point where I'm not. You know what I mean? So I don't want that to happen. So I'm just trying to fight through, guys. It's not even an everyday thing. It's a minute to minute. Like I could feel bad 10 minutes ago. I felt like I just wanted to not do. I wanted to hide under the covers, and then 10 minutes later, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do I'm gonna do my talk about it Tuesday. It's just a really, really scary, hard thing because you can't control it. Like, I don't know. There are people out there that think depression is people make it up, and oh, just snap out of it, and oh, just breathe and your anxiety will go away. It's not like that. If you're someone who suffers with anxiety, panic disorder, depression, all of that, you can't just flick the switch. Because if you could, you would. Because nobody likes to feel like this. Nobody likes to feel like this. Just think about your worst day, or you're feeling that worst day of maybe if you lost somebody, or if you, through a breakup, through death, through whatever, or if you had a devastation in your life, you lost everything, or just that feeling of despair for 1 minute. That's what somebody who has anxiety and depression, that's what they feel on a daily basis. If not maybe not daily, but during, you know what I mean? It's a very, very, it's just, you really don't understand until you feel it, until you have that type of feeling. You don't really know, and you can't just flick the switch. You can't just forget it. You can't just breathe. You have to be in it and and cope with it the way you cope with it. Whether you go to a psychologist to get tools, I mean, she has helped me with, I have so many tools that I use, and like that she has taught me and that I've used over the years, but like I feel like they're not working now. I feel like I'm just like out of control with them. I feel like my head, I can't talk myself out of certain things that I used to be able to say, oh, it's fine, you know, but I feel like that's happening more often. So that's why I'm gonna, in my position, in my predicament, I feel like upping my medicine a little bit and going to talk therapy is going to help me, and so that's what I'm going to attempt, because right now I'm struggling. I'm struggling bad, and it's not good. It's not fair. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to my family. It's not fair to the universe. You know what I mean? And guys, when I'm feeling okay, I want to help myself. When I'm not feeling gloomy, I just want to be like, shut out the world, and like everybody just go away. Nobody talk to me. Nobody look at me. I don't care what you want. Like if you want a sandwich, get up and like go make it. Like if you want some more mashed potatoes, they're right in the kitchen. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be that way. Especially like if Jenny, if this is her last 3 months here, I want to enjoy her. It's so stressful having a child, an adult child with a disability, and it's not their fault. It's not your fault. It's somebody's fault. In our case, it's somebody's fault. It was her doctor's fault, but I'm not going to get into that right now. One day I'll talk about that. So it is somebody's fault. So there is somebody to blame, but you can't. That's done and gone. So, it is what it is. It's a cause and effect of what happened to her. You know what I mean? So it's not going to help anything by doing that, by dwelling on that. So I just want to enjoy the time with her, and I know that we'll make the right informed decision, and yeah, and it'll be right for everybody, but it's going to be an adjustment no matter what the decision is, whether she goes or stays now or whatever in the future. It's a decision we have to all make together, and that is best for her. So yeah, so there's a lot going on in my head. So this is the thing, and like as far as YouTube goes, like I was telling everybody, I love doing YouTube. It's so much fun, and I love creating, and it makes me happy, and but like financially things are going to be changing and stuff, and so I have to reassess things as far as especially when like Jenny leaves, like if I'm gonna go out and get a job and all that, and I don't know if mentally I could do that. And I spoke to you guys about this before. I don't know if I can emotionally, physically go out there and do a job. Not that I can't do it. I can physically do it, but I don't know if this can handle it, because I've had a lot of issues, a lot of issues, that if I'm having an issue at home, going to work and being somewhere at a certain time and having to be I used to work at a food store. I worked on a cash register. So what do you do when you're on a cash register and you feel like your life is over, or you feel like you're just, that's how you feel. It doesn't mean your life is over, but that's how you feel. Like you walk in there and you're like, I don't even want to face life today. And how am I supposed to say, hi, how are you? How was your day? With a smile. You know how it is, guys. If you're out there in the workforce, you know how it is when you don't want to go to work. You're depressed, you're down. My husband does it all the time. He don't want to go to work every day. He doesn't, but he does it. But he used to work with customers too, which he can't anymore. Yeah, that was a nightmare too. But anyway, what? I mean, if he had to, he would. Yes, he would. I'm just saying that it's more difficult when you have to work with the public, and you have to be, And people, let me tell you something. I worked on that register for like 4 years. People knew, like they would come in and say, Linda, why aren't you smiling today? Or what's wrong? Is everything okay? Like they know immediately. And then what are you supposed to do? So you fake smile, you fake, how you feel, because you have to. You have to function, you have to do it. But it's just really, really rough. So I don't know. This YouTube is an avenue for me to have a great time. And like I said, it wasn't about, God bless you, it wasn't about having extra money from it. But now, like I said, guys, I'm making some money from it. Not a lot. It's nothing really to even talk about, but whatever it is, it helps, okay? Whatever it is, it'll buy some food, it'll buy some gas, it'll buy something. So that to me is good because it's helping my husband. But we just have to assess, how much we're going to need and all of that stuff. So that's like 6 months out, 3 to 6 months out. But so that's why I rave about my YouTube, about subscribing and just the views and watching, and share it with your friends, and just like and share and subscribe, and help my channel grow in every way possible if you possibly can. I know it's rough out there. I'm not asking for handouts. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just saying that that's how it helps me. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, Talk About It Tuesday is going to be kind of like this. It's going to be venting. There's a lot of stuff that's happening in the world right now that I would like to vent about, but I'm not going to do that because it's just like politics. I'm not going to get into politics, or everybody has their own views and mind, and can I have a sip of that? I'm thirsty. Their views about how they feel about certain political people, or what those political people are doing with their politicalness and all that stuff. I'm not going to get into any of that. I have my own views. Of course, everybody has their own views. They might not agree with your views. They might agree with your views, but they're not going to agree with everybody. So I'm not bringing those views into this. You know what I mean? Views as far as political and like what's happening in the world now with what's going on with New York City, and just, I'm not going to mention exactly, but whatever. You guys know what's going on. Everybody has an opinion. Doesn't mean your opinion's right. It doesn't mean my opinion's wrong. It doesn't mean my opinion's right. You know what I'm saying? So as far as that goes, I'm not going to talk about that kind of stuff, but I am going to talk about stuff that I think are travesties, that I think are like, nah, I can't really say this, because if I say this, I'm going to be getting into stuff that I don't want to talk about, so I can't. I just feel like I can't say this, so I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, so Talk About It Tuesday is going to be about stuff that's happening in the news that's not political, or, whatever. And stuff that's going on in my life, and maybe that's happening to me, or happened to somebody that I knew, or, there are certain views that I don't care about talking about, like the views about God, and I'm not a holy roller, and I grew up in the Catholic Church. We went to midnight mass on Christmas Eve for years and years. We went to church. We did this. We did that. A lot of things that happened in the Catholic Church and all of that, which is another thing I'm not going to get into, or whatever. But I became a born again Christian, and I feel like always in my gut I'll be Catholic. I'll always be Catholic, because that's how I grew up. I was communioned. I was confirmation. I was baptized. That's how I feel. Okay, but I don't run to the Catholic Church anymore. I don't. I run to the comfort of God. Now I listen to a lot of motivation speeches. I listen to a lot of preaching motivation speeches, and I try to look to God to for hope and for faith, and when things are really hard, because I feel like, what else is there to hold on to? What else is there to hold on to but the faith and the hope that everything's going to get better tomorrow, or maybe this will work out, like I always like blamed God. Oh God, why did you take my mother away? God, why did you do this to me? God, why are you doing this to me? I've come to realize the last like 3-5 years that it's not God who's doing these things to you. God can't stop. I don't want to be like preaching. Like, I'm not preaching about God. I'm just telling you about my beliefs. That's it. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to do it. You don't have to say anything about it. I'm just telling you how I cope with my everyday life, and it's with God, because I now know that God doesn't create havoc. God makes that havoc that the devil creates, that God cannot take away. Yes, God can do anything, but he can't do everything. I'm sorry. He can't do everything. That's just my opinion. He can make the things that are bad in your life better. So let's say that, just say, like, for instance, with Billy's truck, something happened with his truck, the transmission. Okay, it could have been $6,000. It wasn't $6,000, which would have been unaffordable, there would no way, unfeasible. So it was $33,000, which is still very high and a lot of money for us, whatever, but feasible. I'm not saying exact amounts. I'm just saying. Just so I feel like God does things in those ways, like, okay, so you you fell and you got hurt, but you didn't. You only broke your arm. You didn't. You didn't get a concussion. I'm just saying, like, he made. Shush. It's Talk About It Tuesday with Lyndon. That was Bill.
Oh, I did.
I just feel like he makes things better, guys, and and that's the faith that I have and that I need to get through. I'm going to say one last thing before I go, and I am going to go shortly because this is 32 minutes long already. I have what do you call the friend that's not a friend? An acquaintance that I knew growing up in high school, and she was just a friend. We knew each other, but we weren't great friends or anything. Anyway, in later years, we got to know each other on Facebook, and that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want anybody to know who she is, whatever. Anyway, she would always, I would put something on Facebook that said something about, oh God, thank you God, or I love, and she would always come on and make a little comment about, oh, what does God do? I don't believe in God. God doesn't do anything for you. God, God is not going to help you. So it just was, it bothered me. Like, it bothered me because I felt like, if you can't go to God, like, in other words, I said to her one day, I messaged her privately, okay? Because this was a girl that had a very strong personality, and I am not a confrontational person, guys. Believe it or not, I'm outgoing at points, but I'm not a confrontational person. It takes me a lot to get to that point, but when I get to that point, watch out. Okay, so anyway, I messaged her because I couldn't take it anymore. I said, let me ask you a question. If your son had a life-threatening disease, because she had a son, and you were in the hospital and you were praying, who do you pray? Who do you pray to? Who are you going to say? Are you going to sit there and bawl your eyes out and say, God, please heal my son. God, please make it not be terminal. God, please. Who are you going to pray to? So I asked her that, and she said, I don't. I don't. I just think it's going to be okay. I don't pray to anybody. Well, let me tell you something right now. Okay? I don't believe that. I don't believe it, because I feel like when you're in despair like that, you got to have faith in somebody. You got to have faith in something. To the gods, maybe to the universe. She didn't even say, like, oh, I pray to the universe. Maybe she did say that. I don't think she said that. I pray to the universe. Pray to the universe. I don't know. The universe to me is God. Like, the universe is, whatever. You have to pray to somebody. I don't know. That's just how I feel. So I feel like in my life, and like I said, just my life, I need to have faith. And let me tell you some guys, I don't always have faith. I'm telling you, 90% of the time, I don't have faith. It needs to be reinforced so many times. I need to listen again. I need to hear the speech again. I need to talk about it again. Because life is so hard. And you're always getting knocked down. It's hard to get back up. So I'm telling you guys, this Talk About Tuesday is mainly about my mental illness and my mental health and my faith and the things that have helped me is number one, medicine, guys. I didn't want to go on medicine for years. It helped me. It saved my life. Number two, talk therapy. God, I didn't want to do it. Guys, I didn't want to do it. It saved my life. Family support saved my life. You can want as much as you can not to be depressed, not to be upset, not to get down, not to stay under the covers, but it takes more than wanting. It takes more than wanting. I'm here to tell you that. It takes these things, all these things lined up to help you. You need to go to talk therapy. You need medication. These are things that you'll see the light again. Let me tell you something. When I figured out my regimen and I was good, right, Bill? I was like, I feel like a freaking new person. Like, I saw life in a different way. And that's what I'm saying. And that's what lately I've been feeling. I haven't been feeling that way. I've been feeling a little gloomy again. And I don't like it. Because I know the, bless you, I know the feeling of that light. And I don't want to see that darkness again. So guys, I'm just telling you, please, if you see darkness, if it lasts more than a couple of days or a couple of weeks or whatever, go talk to somebody. Talk to your friend. Talk to a neighbor. I don't know. Talk to a psychologist. Call 311. There's all kinds of services out there. If you don't have any money, go to a crisis center. Call the suicide number if you just want to talk to somebody. Anything, guys. Please just reach out. Because there is help out there. There's help for you. There's help for me. And I know that if you think, it's so bad right now, everything is temporary. Everything is a temporary problem. You have to remember that, okay? So what I'm going through right at this minute or right 5 minutes ago is temporary. And you know how I know it's temporary? Because 5 minutes from now, I'll feel bad. And 5 minutes from later, I'll feel good. So it's like I know that, it's what you tell yourself. Talk to yourself. I've learned to talk to myself down and, and to talk myself out of that way. That's all I'm saying. That's it. So that's what Talk About It Tuesday was about on this Tuesday, guys. I hope it wasn't preachy. I'm sorry if it was too preachy for you. I don't know. This is who I am, and this is what I'm going to talk about. And not every Talk About It Tuesday is going to be like this. I might come on and I say, you know what? I went to the frickin' food store yesterday, and this man bumped into me, and he didn't even say sorry or, it's going to be like that. That's whatever. It's not going to be preaching. It's not going to be all that. It's going to be whatever is on my mind. And this is how it used to be. And this is what it's going to be, guys. So if you like my channel, guys, stick around. Come back. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. And don't forget about that other little button that's down there, that little heart. If you want to hit it once in a blue moon, I would be so thankful. If not, don't worry about it. I'm not asking for anything. Just come on and watch my channel. I love you guys. Don't forget to hit that motivation. Don't forget to hit that notification button with that bell so you guys can be notified every time I upload a new video. Like and share and comment down below. And I'll see you on the next video, which is What's for Dinner. See you later, guys. Bye.